Good morning, people. Adam Hartman here at the Swakopmund North Sports Grounds. And what I have here is the tip of an approximately 35-meter long rope. And this is the instrument of war during today's African Tug of War Championships. This is a matter of strength between two teams. We've got teams from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, club teams, national teams, Namibian teams who are taking each other on. And it's the only sport where you move backwards to win. So we're going to bring you this today. We're going to bring some interviews. We're going to bring you some live streaming. So stay tuned.
Well.
All right, so we're here with the main organizer, Mr. Buttons Haynes, who's also part of the Namibian Tug of War Federation, as well as a representative of the International Tug of War Federation. Mr. Haynes, this is going to be quite a competition between two strong teams. Like you said, it's the only sport where you have to move backwards and can win.
Yes.
But anyway, tell us a bit about this championships. What teams are here and how is it going so far?
Yes, we started yesterday with a competition already. We had open clubs in the morning and the nationals in the afternoon, which is the same program today, just different weight categories. So we're going to start at 9:30. We've got Zimbabwe here with quite a strong team. In various weight categories. Then we've got South Africa A and South Africa B, plus their juniors. We've got a club from South Africa, from Kimberley, one from Breede River. Actually, yesterday the Breede River junior team actually won the medal against the senior team, which is quite competitive. And then also some other clubs from Zimbabwe. So yeah, it's going well. I would have liked to have more teams, but they all had different constraints. But we're trying to develop. We also had a team, City of Windhoek, which they're also going to represent Namibia today with a little bit of a help.
Okay.
But it's also a growing phase and a learning phase for them, because up to now the Namibian teams haven't had real competition in the sense, so it's more like Boere sport, if you want to call it. But yesterday they got introduced to the real Tug of War, and it was very learnful for them as well.
Okay. Now, with regards to, if you can just explain the basic dynamics of the sport, what does it entail? How many members in a team, and what is the goal, and how many tugs do they have?
Yes, there's different weight categories. It starts with 520 for ladies, 560 for ladies. Then 580 mix, 4 men, 4 ladies. Then 600 men, 640 men, 720 men. Mm-hmm. So 8 people in a team must weigh that specific amount or less in a team. And then normally the team compete over 3 rounds, so the best out of 3. And then obviously round robin until the semi-finals and finals. Mm-hmm. So basically it's few rules, and it's quite technical. So you have to actually pull the other team about 4 meters across the middle line, and then you win. There's rules for not sitting down, for not locking. You're not allowed to have padding. You're not allowed to slip the rope. So there's quite a few, and there's obviously side judges that have a look, and then you get warnings for that.
Okay.
So that's basically how it works. They've changed the rules a little bit. Because sometimes some of the pools were very long, but now there's also a new rule, inactivity. So you have to actually force people to put down power, otherwise they're just standing around there.
Okay. So it's a contest of power, this. Just maybe if you can just explain to us, just for the rest of the day, we have people can come and watch us. They can come set up the gazebos and do whatever. You've got some drinks. You've got some food here. Tell us how the normal people can just come and enjoy the day.
Yeah, just come, bring your gazebo and bring your chairs, as if you're going to the beach.
Okay.
But we've got grass here, and we have something to drink, something to eat, and it's $20 entrance. That's basically that, and come and enjoy it. It's really fun to watch if you actually, and if it's a good competition, it's really exciting.
Excellent. Mr. Haynes, thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you later.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
So we're going to bring you some action now. The finals between Postmansburg and the Kimberley Pirates in the 580 mix event. And let's stay tuned and expect a tough competition for the gold medal. Dawie Swanepoel, wenkaptein van die Kimberley Pirates. Baie geluk met julle. Julle het sommer al twee julle trekke gewen. Vertel my hoe het gegaan.
Ja, kijk, touwtrek is altijd. Het is ieder jaar wat ze span dag opprobeer vandaag. Ik denk ons het relatief goed gedaan in de eilanden. En ik denk die span mooi gejaagd tot op de final. Ja. En alles is net voor ons geklikt. So great team effort.
Julle spanne, dit was nou 'n mix tussen die mans en vrouens geweest, saam met die mans en vrouens. Maar albei van julle, die mans en die vroue afdelings, julle lyk asof julle dit dominate. Waar kom julle, waar pas julle in by die Suid-Afrikaanse toutrek?
Ja, kijk, ons is allemaal deel van die Zuid-Afrikaanse geelspan. Okay. Obviously soos die Afrika Champs is, dan trek je een dag open, wat vir clubs is. So we obviously divide into two teams vir ons clubs. Okay. En dan maak ons mixspan. So ons is die geelspan trekkers wat dan in 'n klubdivisie compete basis.
Excellent, wel baie geluk.
Baie dankie, waardeer.
The school on the other side of the road goes to Postmansburg. And third school on the other side to Kimberley Pirates.
Ik kan samen jou praten. Was dan niet in English.
final medal match. In red and blue, Kimberley Pirates. In the Harlequin colors, Swakopmund. Navy blue and yellow. This the senior mixed division final, 4 men, 4 ladies. Swakopmund immediately to the attack. Kimberley Pirates counter-attacking. Advantage now to the Pirates. Pirates slowly building. Counter-attack by Swakopmund. Pirates almost going to ground at the back. Friendly caution to Swakopmund. First caution to Swakopmund. First full Pirates. Second pull is underway in this gold medal final in the senior mixed division, and immediately it's Kimberley Pirates that's on the attack. Pirates building.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are currently here at day 2 of the African Tug of War Championships at Swakopmund's Venita North Sports Fields, and now we are starting with a 640 kg open men's division. Our organizer, Mr. Buttons Haynes, what is happening here now?
Okay, thank you, Alan. Yeah, this is now the 640 pool clubs, CBZ from Zimbabwe at the further side, and Kimberley Pirates on this side. Now, they've just given the command to pull, and you can see they're all in sequence here. And then you see the ref there showing that they're locking. And so they're pulling all the. This is also the division that they call the Kings division. Now that team has gone to ground. They've been warned by the ref. They got one mistake now. So if they get 2, then they're blown out. And so there's his finger in the air. There's got one mistake already. So it's pushing, and it's a tough competition. This is as soon as you get the guys folded, that's when it's a problem. You have to keep your body straight, and otherwise the other team will just pull you. There you can see they're opening up again, and now they're just settling the rope a little bit, and now they're going to go and walk in sequence. There they're sitting down again. The anchorman's got problems there from CBZ at the back. You can see he's struggling a bit. He's closing down. The whole team's on the ground again. They're going to get a second warning now. I'm sure of that. So the 4 meters, they've pulled Kimberley Pilots one head now, and what a competition.
There's a lot of energy going in here. We saw some people in an earlier game actually need oxygen because of the energy that they exerted. What's going to happen now? They're going to be swapping sides, and then is it the best out of 3, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's the best out of 3. So what they're going to do, they're going to have a little water break, and now they're swapping sides here. And you can see they're also clapping hands and touching each other. That's just camaraderie that's happening here all over Africa. And it's nice to see CBZ from Zimbabwe. And I hope they've got a better pool this time. Maybe more controlled, and if they go to ground, that's the problem, because then all the weight's off the rope and there's no more tension on the rope.
The South African, this Kimberley's Pirates, they're a formidable team. They seem like they've got national participants. Zimbabwe is also one of the best teams. I'm not sure if it's now this specific division, but you mentioned that this is also called the King's Division. Why is that?
Well, well, that's what they call it in England, because 640 is actually your most the competition with the most pressure, with the teams that compete the best. It's also a weight category that's in between the 720 and the 600. There you can see Kimberley pulling off and then just walking with it. All the legs are in sequence, and then it's just not happening. They can't stop them there. You can see the anchorman's very, very low to get all the pressure on the rope. Oh, and they've pulled them up, and they opened up nicely here, Zimbabwe. CBZ opened up nicely, and you can see the coach is just forcing them. Oh, it's much better now. Then you can see there, Pirates are closed down. If you can close them and you can keep them there, this side is open there, they close them again. Yes, like you see. And if you, then number 4 is going down, that's a difficulty, you see. And then if they start walking like that, you can't stop them. Yeah, they've got it.
This is some tough pulling here. So there's going to be another round after this. This is sort of like a round-robin round. We've got the semi-finals after this for bronze and then for gold. With regards to the weight, are both teams exactly 640?
Now, the total weight of these teams must be, you must weigh 640 kilograms or less. So some of these teams are lighter, but you can't weigh more. You'll see the next team that comes up now, Breerivier from South Africa, that's close to Worcester and Cape Town. They are actually just over 600 kilos, 602, and they're specifically doing it in the 640 kilo competition to prepare for the World Champions in Holland now in September. So they're much lighter, but you can see they are very, very strong. Actually, yesterday they also won. So we'll see how it goes now. I've got a 5-minute break now, and then the next teams come up, and then we'll see.
The Breerivier team, it's a young team. I understand most of them are actually at school still, and they're going to be taking on Postmansburg. Not sure. But Breerivier yesterday also won the gold medal for a lighter division. Yeah. So we're going to be looking forward to that. People, stay tuned, and let's see what this brings for us. This is day 2 of the African Tug of War Championships at Swakopmund. People, if you have not come to the sports fields yet to check out this action, you are missing something. This is the first major national tug of war competition that's been taking place in Namibia for nearly 20 years now, Buttons.
Yeah, 23 years. We had a competition here at the SFC, which we call the Oceanic Championships. In 1999, John Redmond was still the president of Namibia, and we had 14 countries here, which included America, Canada, New Zealand, Japan, so South Africa, and Namibia was then still very strong in tug of war.
Yeah. Tell me, with regards to the Namibian team, they don't seem to be very visible at today's event. Are they participating later on in the nationals? Do you know anything what their status quo is at the moment?
Yes, we've got a team from Windhoek that competed yesterday in the 720 kilograms. That's a heavy guys, and they came fourth. And today I've got the same team in the 720 national championships, and I had to make a few substitutes, but I hope that they will come through a bit. They're not at the moment on the right standard, but we can expect that hopefully with more training it'll be better. And they're more on the social side previously, but now they came here yesterday and today, and they actually saw what it's about.
This is actually a serious sports. It's not just a social event. There are ladies teams from Zimbabwe and from South Africa. With regards to involving youngsters, for instance, what are you hoping that this competition would result in for Namibian tug of war?
Man, Adam, I went up to the north now about a few weeks ago, and I did a little tour there. I think the basis of this should be that you would start at school. In South Africa, last year we had 360 teams for the junior championships, and that's now little okies from 6 years old upwards, and it's just wonderful to see the camaraderie and when we went to the north now, Ondangwa, Bendiva or Shikati, we had about 900 children there some of the days, and they just enjoyed it. You could see the pure pleasure with the sport. It's not an expensive sport, but we need support obviously. And yeah, thank you.
The Zimbabwean president, Mr. Frank, he mentioned the importance of corporate involvement, sponsoring and so forth, saying that it's because of these corporate companies getting involved that they are able to develop and to go to other competitions and so forth. How would you say, how relevant is that to Namibians?
Obviously, we know all the constraints about COVID, and 2 years ago we had substantial sponsors, but they all couldn't make it this year. But we had Namibian breweries helping us, EMED helping us. We had some other companies supporting, City of Swakopmund obviously. So yeah, there was support, and but obviously we need to get if we want to start from grassroots level, we need some support from corporates. So this competition now is a Breere Fier on the blue team against CBZ from Zimbabwe. That was also my club in South Africa that I trained. This is a 602 kilogram team, so they're about 38 kilograms underweight, but they're specifically training for the World Championships, and they are the team that's going to represent South Africa there in Netherlands. So we'll see how this goes. So there's a 38 kilo weight difference. Now you'll see that the ref's asking them if they are ready. So he's got his hand showing them, asking them, the coaches, whether they're ready. He's guiding the rope to the middle. Then he's going to give the command, put down the rope, pick up the rope, and then it's going to take the strain, and then you have to make the rope taut, and then steady, and then you go. Okay, so immediately Breere Fier, and you see they're going down. They're not supposed to push or touch on the ground, so they're getting the rhythm back a little bit. Stabling number 7, struggling a bit. Okay, Zimbabwe is pulling them back a little bit. Now they've closed Zimbabwe. They're just keeping their body straight and taut and not rushing it. So rhythm is important. They try to go, Zimbabwe tried to pull them back, but not happening. They're going to the ground, so they're probably going to get a warning soon. Oops, that's a little bit of a problem. They have to stand up immediately, otherwise they're going to get a warning. And the end of that pull.
This reminds me of a combination between a rugby scrum and a canoe race, where you got these. There seems to be synchronicity. The guys are they positioning their shoes. They're leaning backwards. It's a very tactical type of sports by the looks of it.
Yes, it is, and obviously you need all the rhythm that you can get. Obviously, you have to keep your body straight and not bend forward, because then you haven't got power. And you obviously have to go backwards step by step and in sequence. Otherwise,
is there somebody that actually counts?
they don't actually count. They've got it in their mind. Sometimes the coach will say, stable the rope, don't push too hard. Because when you are very taut and you want to pull, it can sometimes happen that you go out of your tracks and then you lose grip. So it's important to keep the rope as tight as possible, and then you will feel the number one will normally feel it's the team on the other side slacking, and then he will give a command, okay, put pressure on. So then you press on your right leg. Your left leg is always trying to be straight. Then you will press on your right leg and then bring your left leg forward and backwards again. Press on your left leg, forward and backwards again. So you're
ready for
second round there, and they're just guiding the rope to the middle. And then they'll do the pull. Steady now, and he's going to say pull now, pull. Okay, so you can see they had a very good hit off, and they're going in sequence here, and they're not going to be stopped now. And you think that team is about 38 kilograms lighter than this one. Okay, Zimbabwe is stopping them. Unfortunately, number 3 is on the ground, and he has to push up. The coach is getting very anxious here. Not happening. Rear is just a little bit too strong for them. What a pull.
What does it take to win? Is it strength? Is it weight? Is it tactics? I guess it's a combination of the lot.
Yeah, people don't think it's an aerobic sport, but it is. Heart and lungs. I mean, and if what happens firstly, what packs up is your arms and your hands, because if the lactic acid builds up in your arm, your forearms, you can't hold the rope. So the more oxygen you get, the fitter you are. Obviously, that's important. Your hands. If your hands pack up, you can't do anything. And then obviously pressure in your legs. So if you're tired, and it's a lot of strain on your back. So you have to, your core muscles have to be very strong. Yeah.
We've got the young team of Brerevier who now dominated the Zimbabweans, and also with 38 kilograms less. So quite an impressive performance by them. We've got another round robin after this, and then we will head into the semi-finals. I just want to look at yesterday's performance. We had day one performance. We had the Kimberley Pirates from South Africa, Kimberley Pirates B, who won the 520 kilogram ladies results. Kimberley ladies, they look like a really strong team. What can you say about them?
Yeah, Kimberley's, they've always been tough, you know, it's in the middle, it's like Karabakh, you know, it's tough there in Kimberley. And the ladies are very strong, and they've always been a strong club in South Africa as well. So we're very, very glad that they could actually come to Namibia and come and perform here.
Did Namibia ever have a ladies team?
No. When we stopped here in 1999, or the Tug of War went, sort of died here. And, it's actually after that they started with women's Tug of War. When I was still the coach of Houdini and in Olsenville, our wives, we used to sit down at the weekends and have a look how we men do the Tug of War, and then we started women's Tug of War. Okay. And then from there, and the South African women team are very, very strong in the world. They've won a few medals already in international competitions and won world championships. And I think Namibia's got strong women, I mean, really. So I think it can be and children as well, they're tough. And this is a sport for tough people.
The 720 kilogram results yesterday, Postmasburg, the men's there took that. They also seem like a very strong team. The 6 for the men's result for the African Championships, the South African youth came first, and then South Africa followed by Zimbabwe. I know Zimbabwe were sort of like the reigning champs, and South Africa wanted to come take that from them, I guess, in the men's division. But the SA youth, are they the young and upcoming ones, I guess?
Yeah, the SA Youth Club is actually this Breederivier club, so they did wonderful yesterday. So they won that. They actually won the senior team. So this is how strong they actually are. So this is the same team, the same club actually, that's going to represent South Africa in the juniors World Championships. And that's why they also competed yesterday, and then they won the A team, which is quite a story.
We hope that they maybe laat die knoop deur. Just so that our viewers and listeners will know that we are and our South African visitors are currently can watch us live streaming on Facebook, and it will be on Erongo 24's Facebook page, as well as on YouTube, Erongo's YouTube platform. People, we are showing it live, we are showing you the action live, we're talking to the organizer, Buttons Haynes, who's telling us everything about him, who's literally showing us the ropes of Tug of War. Now, this is now the second round.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough competition. You've got Pirates there, which also got a lot of representatives for South Africa A team, and then Breederivier, and this is going to be a tough one. So the one that makes a mistake here is going to be hard heat. Okay, you have quite a good cut down or heat down. And interesting, your head is about 1/8 of your total body weight. So if you use your total body weight plus your head to throw yourself back, you can already win a half a meter. And then you can see Pirates is not taking this. They're very, very strong. You must obviously take in note consideration the weight ratio here. But yeah, you got a great team in Pirates here, and they pulling. Number 7 struggling here with Breederivier. And yeah, they're just not making it. Oh, and they're going to lose this one. But there's still maybe 2 to go. We'll see.
I didn't hear the Breederivier clock. I think they said that they need to ring the clock to psych the Breederivier team up now. So what's going on there? Breaking tradition.
I think what they're doing here is they're waiting for the finals, and they'll probably ring the clock then. You can see the coach is talking to the team there, not happy. You can see he's not a happy man now. Obviously Pirates, Kimberley Pirates, they did a great pull there. Well, we'll see what's happening. Maybe the sides are also not the same. Sometimes you have a side that has preference because of the grass and the depth of the sand. That also makes a difference.
Buttons, just with regards to the women's team yesterday, the winners of the Nationals women's, was that also the Kimberley Pirates, the RSA team, South Africa? Yeah. They also came second with Zimbabwe third. You were one of the... Were you a founder, or were you a sort of like an executive member of Breederivier in the old days?
No, I wasn't the founder. The competition, the club started, second oldest club in the country. But I didn't start them. I just took the club over after the old guys retired. Yeah, Breederivier saying they're not going to lose this one. Kimberley struggling a little bit. You can see that they're sitting. Yeah, I think this size does make a difference because Breederivier is pulling much better on that other side. Oh, and Kimberley is not taking it. Pirates are opening, trying to open up here. But it's tough. And Breederivier is going, and it's just a few millimeters more, and they've got it. So it's 1-1 now. Now they can choose sides. They can flip a coin to decide which side they want to pull the final pull. So we'll see what they do.
Wow. So that's amazing. 1-1. And Breederivier is showing their stuff here. Yeah, you were telling us just with regards to the Breederivier, your history with that. Just tell us a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, after the club died down after a few years, because Houdini is also in that area, so most of the people went there. So in 1995, I started the club again, and when I left South Africa to come to Swakopmund, Dani Zeeman took over the club, and at some stage they were more than about 200 members in the club. What's interesting from Dani Zeeman, the coach and owner of the club now, is that they farm community. They do grapes and wine, and he sort of started pulling with his workers. And then every weekend, when they then went to competitions, he got a bus to take all the families with. That sort of developed through the whole area like a sort of a cancer going out, and everybody started hearing about that. So the abuse, alcohol abuse, drug abuse went down. The children started performing at school. The families got together, and it's just a wonderful story to tell to people. I just get goosebumps talking about this.
This is actually quite inspirational and an example for us to follow. I mean, you know, we have a lot of people in our communities who want to take the kids off the streets, you know, from being naughty in a way, drug abuse, alcoholism and so forth. And what a way to bring them out to actually participate in this type of sports. So yes, I can completely understand.
Yes, and what was actually interesting is that the children started inspiring the parents, and they saw what their children could do with sport, and they stopped drinking, stopped using drugs, and I think there's about 30 or more farms now that's in that community that has sort of gained from this, and yeah, it's just a wonderful story.
Buttons, tell us a bit now with regards to the organization of the event. Obviously, you know, we hope to see more people here. We try to get the advertising, but the teams could not come for various reasons. What is the challenge that one can learn from that for future events?
I think it'll probably go much better in the future. It's a question of it does cost money to get here. I mean, Africa is a vast country, so start earlier. Well, obviously we did start in 2019 it was cancelled, 2020 it was cancelled. But still, you could still find that people still have constraints, or companies still have constraints. It's a pity, but I got hope that we can maybe next year take some of the teams in Namibia to the Kimberley to the South African Championships and do open clubs there, and maybe from that grow and also take some junior teams. If you can get the sport, I think the parents and the sponsors will see the results and what the future holds for these children.
Are we looking now at the fourth and last round robin before the semi-finals? And this is now Kimberley Pirates against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, Kimberley Pirates against CBZ, a club from Zimbabwe. Yeah, I don't want to sort of predict what's going to happen here, but yeah, you can see that Kimberley Pirates are really strong. I hope that CBZ can stay from the ground and not fall, then it'll be a good competition. Let's see what happens here. Steady now, and then they pull. Oh, they did a wonderful pull, and they're immediately forcing it, pressing the right leg, keeping the rope very low. You can see this number 8, the anchor man, is very low. He's obviously crucial. If he slips, then the whole team sort of will sort of fall down. And his job is also to guide the team so that they don't go out of direction and out of the sport. You can see Zimbabwe is not having this. Number 7 is a bit high, he should go lower. And the number 8 is struggling. He must go much lower than this and straighten his back. He's not straightening his back. the difficulty there is the number 7 is the problem there. He's too high, and then obviously he takes half of his weight off the rope. Yeah, so you can see the number, or the Kimberley team, all very, very low, although they're now sort of bent. Yeah, they're opening up a little bit now. You can see number 8 from CBZ struggling. Yeah, there he goes to ground. Yeah, difficult, but you know, the anchor man is crucial, vital for a team. If he goes down or he's not straight and low, then everybody will struggle, because the number 7 then relies on him to keep in the air.
Tell us a bit about that. I mean, you've got the number 1 and you've got the number 8. The anchorman is number 8. He's pretty padded. Apparently, it's quite, you know, he has to be padded to support his back and so forth. Besides that, from number 1 to 8, are they specified for that position? Are they custom for that position?
Yes, you choose your positions. Normally the front guys are a little bit smaller. You can see that Kimberley is different. They've got a tall number 1. So if it depends on the style of the team. You can see Bredeveer, they go from small to big. Kimberley's got a little bit of a difference. Number 1 is very important. Number 2, he has to keep the height of the rope. So he can dictate the height of the rope. And so the height, ideal height would be hip height, the rope hip height. And if he's a tall man and he can challenge that, and he can do that, then it's good, because then it levels out the team. Number 1, 2, and 3, they would feel the pressure on the team and from the other team, and they will then communicate to number 4 and 5. Those guys must keep the rest in air. So number 4 and 5 is normally a little bit higher to keep the 1, 2, and 3 off the ground, and then 6 must go low, 7 can usually go low, 8 must be straight and a little bit lower.
So there's a reason why you're in the position that you have been placed. All right. So okay, we're going now for round 2, and yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay, so you can see the number 4 from CBZ. Okay, they're closing down, and that's the problem. Number 5 is too low, and he's also bent forward. So if you can get the hands over the knees, then it's normally action done. Number 8 is struggling, and you see if the rope sort of falls off your back, then it's a problem. Kimberley also struggling, so it's not just easy. See, number 8 is now trying to get the rope back, and it's not working. So a lot of difficulty with them. If they take this will be a super comeback. Kimberley is not having this. You can see number 8 is also struggling there at Kimberley. And they are not having this. The Zimbabwe is just opening up. Pity about number 8 and the rope that's not around his body. You can see at this side, if they can get off the ground straight and tight, they might make it. And they've closed Kimberley. Now the team will now try and open up again, and they're not getting that done. So they've got their hands over their knees, and this is why Zimbabwe is going backwards now. If your hands are over your knees, then it's difficult to pull, because you're actually just defending now. This is a wonderful pull.
This was excellent. It was good to watch. It was, wow. One can see these guys put in everything. Excellent stuff. The number 8, you mentioned he lost the rope. We were talking about the padding and all that, and we see he's down now. Or if that is number 8, yes. Tell us what is happening there now.
Yeah, he's probably out of breath now, and maybe a little bit of a back problem. We see now the medics are with him now. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a strain in the back. That was a tough one. You could see the pressure on it. It was not easy.
Would you say that when the rope came off, that this is what injury can take place? Is this the danger?
Yes, because normally you've got the rope behind your back, and then you sort of clamp it with your one arm underneath. And then when that sort of the rope went loose, he has to now use only his hands, and then they pulled him forward. So he was strained his back a lot. So this is difficulty. But yeah, hopefully he's away. They're obviously very, very tired. Hope they can sort of get their breath back, and we'll see a good final.
Okay, so we have one more round taking place. The people, there's action taking place here. You would never think that Tug of War can be so intense. There's a lot of energy, a lot of strength that these guys are putting into it. There's tactics in here, the coordination, the synchronicity is actually quite something to behold. But it looks like that we are now heading for the semi-finals, and which is it's just going to go from better to best. So we are looking forward to that. This is the 640 kilogram men's division. Good sportsmanship between the different teams, something that is always appreciated. The Kimberley team, which have several national members in them, is something, a formidable team, some team to watch. And but let's not forget about the Zimbabwe team, how they actually performed now. They just showed us that they are still in the game. So we look forward to the semi-finals. And yeah, just with regards to, we've got a few spectators here, people that are even visiting Swakopmund. People say they love the weather here. I've heard that the conditions are good. The competitions in South Africa and Europe are obviously much bigger because the clubs and the provinces are closer to each other than African countries are. And even in Europe, we've got countries that are just across the border from each other. I guess this is a challenge that Namibia does have.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's obviously distance, and it's not easy to come from Tsumeb to Swakopmund or Tsumeb to Windhoek each weekend, and that's obviously the difficulty with other sports as well. But yes, yeah, like you said, Europe's much smaller and more clubs closer to each other, more competition. So you have, say for instance, 6 teams in Namibia and you have to get together every third or second week. That's going to be difficult. But yeah, you can overcome the challenges. It has been done before. And South Africa is also not a small country. But there they've got provinces. They do their national or their provinces first of all. So like a Berlin Kampioenskap or Western Province Championships, Northern Transvaal, Free State, whatever. And then they only get together at the nationals. So Namibia is a little bit small in that sense, people-wise. So it'll probably be difficult to have regional championships. Except if you get the Defence Force and all the other clubs and all the municipalities together, then you can have a Erongo region and a Windhoek region and etc. etc. Yeah, and we've got enough people in the north. And when we did go there 2-3 weeks ago, we had a wonderful sort of experience with the children there. They loved it.
We have the NDF sports games currently taking place at the other sports field. One would have thought that it would be a good idea to include Tug O War in that as well. But Buttons, where are we now? Is this now the semi-final? And how did that work, considering that Zimbabwe and Kimberley? Okay. People, we are nearing the end, the finals of the 640 division, and there will be we're just listening to what the umpires are saying as to the process. Buttons, what did you learn? Is this now the semi-finals?
No, not yet. So because only 3 teams are doing 2 rounds, 1-1, and not out of best out of 3. So only 2 pools, and then they're going to do the semis and the finals.
The Postmasburg team, they did not participate in this event, in this specific division. Okay, all right. So are we waiting now? The winner from this team will then go into for the semi-final.
Yeah, so because there were only 3 teams in this category, they're doing 2 rounds of the round robin, and then so it's only two pools in each round robin, and then they will go to the semi-finals.
Okay, so now we've got.
So it's another final round of the round robin, yeah.
So the young Breedevier team are taking on the Zimbabwean team that showed their guts early on. Breedevier from the start out, they seem to be in synchronicity. They've got a mission, and they're putting a lot of strain on the Zimbabwean team.
Yeah, you can see that the coach doesn't even say anything. He knows what they're doing. The team knows what they are doing. So Zimbabwe got them back a little bit. You can see number 8 from Zimbabwe is struggling. His left foot must be much more in the middle. Yeah, and if you just pull them, it's just very difficult to stop them then.
Wow, quite something. The Zimbabwean team just collapsed. I guess they just out of it. And they're still going to have a round 2 now as well. And then I don't know if, I don't want to be the judge. They just know they showed us what they can do. So they say the show is never over until the fat lady sings. But in this case, we don't have that. We have one more round. So let's see what happens here. With regards to, I'm just thinking now, I'm just looking at what they're going to be doing now. Basically. So
yeah, it's the best out of 3 always, but now because of like I said before, there are 3 teams, only 3 teams in the category. They do 2-2, so they don't do a third one because they do a double round, and then they only go to the semis. When they go to the semis, obviously, they will have the best out of 3. Hopefully Zimbabwe has now recovered, CBZ has now recovered, and the anchor man can keep the rope around his body, because that's really important. It's normally the biggest guy's anchor, so if his weight is like he would probably be in the 90s. If he goes out, then you lose 90 kilos on the whole team. Okay, so the ref is just channeling the team or the rope to the middle again. Obviously fitness is really, really important here. If you're not fit, then your arms and legs will pack up. Yeah, and Breref is just going down, they're working like a machine. Very, very low, so it'll be very difficult to close them. Both teams are very low now. And yep, Zimbabwe is opening up again, but you see, sometimes if you pull and you don't put enough pressure on your legs, you actually loosen yourself, and then they just work with it.
There's apparently a rule that limits the length of the game because of instances, as we heard yesterday, the world record is 56 minutes for one pull. I think it was European teams or whatever. What is the average pull length, and where do you draw the line, and why do you draw the line?
Yeah, the longest pool was actually in 1996. I was actually there in Slagharen in Holland. And the one pool was 56 minutes, and actually the ref had to help get support to keep his hands in the air. But a pool being that long, you can also have inactivity. So you're just hanging on the rope, you're not actually pulling. So they've put in a rule now that you have to be active. So normal pools will be in the region of 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to up to 3-4 minutes.
Okay. So guys, we are waiting for the next round now, and we will be going on for an ad break. So we ask you to join us shortly. So stay tuned. they say time flies when you are having fun, and really time was flying now. Thank you for joining us, but we have to end our live stream now. But before we do that, let's just speak to Mr. Haynes. Buttons, this was thank you for joining us, and thank you for the effort that you put into this. Tell us, what can we expect now for the rest of the day?
Yeah, so we've got the 640 finals coming up now, and we've got 3 teams: Pirates, ZBZ from Zimbabwe, and now Brerevier. So they're going for bronze, and after that silver and gold. So after that in the afternoon now, we start with the national teams, where Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Namibia will compete, and 720, which is the big guys, and then 560 ladies will also be competing this afternoon, and it'll be national championships, and then we will probably finish by 4 or so, and that would be the end of the 2 days. And yeah, I'm very grateful that we were safe, while the weather was good, just started at the right time. Yeah, and I think for the future, you know, if you want to get your children involved, yeah, it's a wonderful sport. It's a camaraderie, and you can see also the teams know each other already from competing against each other before, and there's a nice camaraderie and esprit de corps amongst all the Africans, and also amongst all the tug of warriors. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. Buttons has told us everything. Make sure there's still time to come to the sports field, come check it out, come enjoy the show, and you can check us out live as we cover other events later. We've got the Desert Storm happening in Walvis Bay, so stay tuned, and thanks for joining us. Take care.
Dank je, Anna.
Baie dankie. Ja, dit was so fantasties geweest dat jy by my was. Waardeer baie. Ons sal weer gesels, né?